How good is a Ryzen 5 1500X and an RX 570 8GB version? How good are they in 2021? Let's find out. What's up everybody, it's PJ the Great. I hope you're having a super beautiful day. And if you're new here, I do videos just like this, as well as tech reviews and occasional gaming streams. So if that sounds like your jam, consider subscribing. And to all my returning subscribers, what's up great ones? Welcome back. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that. Kind of like stopped doing it because like the intro of my videos kind of tells you all that already. So I just did it again for fun. Anyway, I want to talk about the Ryzen 5 1500X paired with the RX 570 8GB. Now, this is an unusual combination for 2021 for a bunch of reasons. One reason is you can't get your hands on an RX 570 8GB for a reasonable price because of the whole mining craze. I mean, just to give you an example, I have two of them on hand. One of them's in my Hackintosh and one I'm messing around with now inside of my test bed. I paid $100 each for those cards like 2 years ago. You go on eBay right now, they're like $400. And Ryzen 5 1500X, I mean, I picked up mine for like $72 from AliExpress. I went on AliExpress and now they're up to $100. So I don't know, things are just crazy, but I just decided to play around and see how this combination will work together. The Ryzen 5 1500X, you know, is on that Zen architecture. This is first gen Ryzen, 4 cores, 8 threads, and it's running at 3.7 gigahertz. I didn't bother putting the overclock on it. And then I have the RX 570 8GB. Once again, no overclock on it. It's the MSI version. And I wanted to do some playing around in some games and test it out in 1080p. Medium settings, and I don't think I messed around with any low settings. I think it was mainly like medium and maybe some ticking around in high settings. And some of the numbers that I was getting, I was actually shocked. I mean, take a look at this. So yeah, needless to say, I was like completely shocked at what the Ryzen 5 1500X could do with the RX 570 8GB. And then I decided to do some thinking, and then I was like, you know what, the Ryzen 5 1500X is no different from the Ryzen 5 2400G. And if you remember my past video, I'll link it right up here if you want to check it out. When I did that HP sleeper build, I had that in the system and I paired it with this very same RX 570 8GB. Those are pretty much the same CPU. The only difference is the Ryzen 5 2400G has integrated graphics. And of course, I wasn't taking advantage of that when I paired it with RX 570 8GB. So I had seen this type of performance before. It's just been a while. And then when I saw it again, I was like, wow, this is a really good combination to get into in 2021 during this crisis of getting your hands on a decent graphics card at a decent price. Now, before your little fingers get a little itchy and you start striking up the keyboard and your mouth saying you're running out to pick up a Ryzen 5 1500X and an RX 570 8GB, like I said at the beginning of the video, things are a little bit weird right now. Do I recommend this combo in 2021? Absolutely not. I do not. Even though like the performance is just like, it's amazing, it's shocking, especially if you're the type of person that just, you want a game and you want a good fluid experience without any hitches. You don't care about counting the FPS. A Ryzen 5 1500X and a RX 570 8GB, it's a perfect combination. Just not in 2021. Not because I think the parts are outdated. They're extremely overpriced. Okay, where was I? Stupid home phone rang. Yeah, you heard me right. Home phone. Who has a home phone? My mom lives with me and she prefers to use the home phone instead of her cell phone. All right, so the point I was getting at, it doesn't make any sense to buy this combo in 2021. One reason is, we'll start with the CPU. I wouldn't get a first-gen Ryzen 5 1500X because you can pick up an Intel Core i3 10100F for under $100 out of the same price that you can get a Ryzen 5 1500X at today or cheaper, and it's newer architecture. So I would definitely buy that before I even think about buying a Ryzen 5 1500X, especially at $100 to $130. Don't do it. Intel Core i3 10100F is the way you should go. Now, in regards to that RX 570 8GB, those are roughly running around $400 right now. I told you 2 years ago things were different. I paid $100 for mine. Would I pay $400 for a RX 570 8GB? Nope. But that's just me. I would not pay $400 for that. I would be on the hunt for an RX 570 4GB, and those are less desirable by miners, and you could probably get your hands on one of those for roughly around, say, $150, maybe $200. The 8GB version, I would just stay away from. I don't think it's worth $400 for one of those. I honestly do not. So go the RX 570 4GB route, and you should be roughly around $150, $200 if you're looking at doing this. But I don't recommend doing this combo in 2021, not as prices sit right now in October, because the main reason is the Ryzen 5 1500X is running the same price as a Core i3 10100F, which is newer architecture. It just really doesn't make sense unless you're Team Ryzen and you don't even want to think about Intel. And even if that is the case, I would hunt on AliExpress and try and get a Ryzen 3 3100 or 3300X, because you're only going to pay like a couple dollars more than a Ryzen 5 1500X, because right now these things are overpriced. These days are crazy. And you know what, another thing I'll add before I wrap up this video, I was shocked. This combo played pretty well at 1440p too, and I tested it out in 1440p with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I was shocked. Nice, good looking play, smooth play. Did it with Rise of the Tomb Raider 2. It was pretty smooth, roughly around 60 frames per second. So it could even do 1440p. So what's the whole point of this video? Yeah, good question. The whole point was I was just playing around on my test bed, and I was like shocked by these numbers that I wanted to share with everyone. And the main point of it is to let you all know that you can have an enjoyable experience with a 4-core 8-threaded chip and an older GPU. So if you have older hardware on hand right now that you're working with and you're enjoying yourself with it while you're waiting for your upgrade, don't get mad, don't get upset, and don't feel like you're missing out on anything, because I played on it and I didn't see any hitches whatsoever. The only hitch that I saw was in Horizon Zero Dawn. There was a couple of hiccups here and there, but that was just me trying to run it at medium settings instead of just dropping it all the way down low. So that would have changed that outcome. So if you got your hands on older hardware right now and you're really itching to get your hands on like newer architecture now, don't waste the money. Don't waste the money and pay these high taxes, especially for the GPUs. Everything else is kind of reasonably priced, but for the GPUs, if you can hold out, and you know, just wait it out. Just wait it out, because this combo is an enjoyable experience. My recommendation is, instead of this combo, like I said, the Core i3, the RX 574 gigabyte is a good, enjoyable experience, as long as you're not the type of person that's sitting there counting all your frames per second and wanting to game in like 4K and stream and all that. And this combo, I have no doubt in my mind that it can stream. It can stream. All you have to do is just tweak with your settings. So just be patient, be calm, and things might get better one day. I don't know how long we've been saying that, and it hasn't gotten better yet, but maybe someday it will. And until it does get better, hey, if you like this video, do me a favor and give it a big old thumbs up. And if you hated it, you can give it a thumbs down. But no matter what you do, don't forget to click that subscribe button and click the bell right next to it, so you'll be notified every time I upload new videos. And that's all I gotta say about that until I see you in the next video. This is PJ the Great saying Audi 5000G. Flashback to when I made that video about the HP Sleeper, when prices were reasonable. We'll say a Ryzen 5 1500X should be $60 at the most. A RX 578 gigabyte nowadays should be $80, $90. Now, if that were the case, you should run and get this combo. But that ain't the case.